welcome back. Hope you all had a nice and refreshing break. I'm going to start off the second part with some insights about how the user acquisition channel influences the user behavior in our app. So maybe first a little personal introduction. I'm Femke. I joined About You in January, and prior to About You, I worked for fashion rocket internet venture in Berlin and Singapore called Like, and before that I worked as mobile marketing manager at InnoGames, a gaming company also based in Hamburg, and now I'm very happy to help About You. So the agenda, since this is a very international event, most of you might not have heard about us because we're only live in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So a brief introduction about us, about who we are. And then in order to understand the results of our analysis about the influence of user channels on user behavior, I just give you a brief introduction about the app marketing channels I'm going to talk about, and also how we at About You measure success of those campaigns. And then I'm going to finish off with main insights, our lessons learned, and mistakes to avoid. Okay, so who we are. About You is based in Hamburg, founded in 2014. As I said, active in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. We have about 300 employees from 13 countries with an average age of 29. We are one of the fastest growing startups in Europe, one of the top fashion players in Germany as well. You find everything at our shops, from shoes to fashion, accessories, a few products from home and living. So in total, more than 110,000 products from 800 top brands. We are now at a 3-digit million euro revenue per year, and we achieved 2-digit million euro revenue in the first 10 months after launch. So as I am head of app and mobile marketing at About You, I'm of course focusing on our app, which was published in Germany in April 2015, and we just launched Austria and Switzerland this month. But only in Germany we have more than 500,000 monthly active users, 2 million downloads in total, and 60% of our traffic comes from mobile devices. So what is different about us, maybe compared to other big fashion players? We really focus on the fashion discovery approach. So these are screenshots from our app. When you tell us which brands you like, what sizes you wear, also if you tell us what influencers you'd like to follow, then we're going to show you only the styles that really fit your needs. So the screenshot of the top charts is taken on Friday, on Black Friday. So we achieved ranking position 2 overall in free apps on Friday. So I thought I'd just very quickly, how did we get there? It was not through incentivized or push campaigns. I think we spent in total 500 euros the whole weekend, but it was rather driven by organic growth. So when we plan a special sale event at About You, we always think about how we can organically push our app. So on Black Friday, for example, we gave a discount of up to 35% on the products, but if a user buys through the app, then he would get an extra 10% discount. So just with this little tweak, we achieved more than 100,000 extra downloads during the Black Friday weekend. Okay. But back to the topic of my talk. Just a quick overview about the app marketing channels I'd like to talk about. So, of course, we have a lot of different user acquisition channels, but part of this presentation is Facebook, Instagram, the Google Universal App Campaigns, and app display and performance networks. And basically, we include all targeting options, formats. So for Facebook, interest targeting, custom audiences, lookalikes, same for Instagram. The Google Universal App Campaign combines search ads, display ads, including brand, app display, performance networks, basically everything, in-app campaigns, video ads, display ads, also mobile web campaigns, as you find here. How do we measure success? How do we evaluate our campaigns? So in order to compare our campaigns to desktop, the ultimate KPI is always the cost of sales after 30 days, which you see here in the top right corner. But of course, if we only evaluate the campaigns after 30 days, we are a bit late to optimize. So we check KPIs already on the day of the install, and also in the first week of the install, of course, always the cohort view. And we not only look at performance KPIs like revenue per install or the cost of sales, but we also focus on engagement KPIs. So here are a few examples. At About You, you can, for example, in terms of performance KPIs, you can, of course, visit a category, check out an article detail page, add something to your wish list, to your basket, and then eventually buy a product. But you can also upload a profile picture, you can tell us which brands you like, you can follow your friends or influencers, you can visit your Trend der Woche, which is something like Discover Weekly, where you get a 10% discount. You can post outfits, pictures of yourself. So there are a lot of engagement KPIs that we can look at already in the first days and weeks of the install. So what I've done is I made an analysis about the user acquisition channels and if they are different when you look at those KPIs, and in fact they are. Sorry, let's go back. So what you see here is the numbers are all based on the day of the install. Cohort view, of course. On the left side, we see really revenue-focused KPIs or conversion-focused KPIs, for example, the revenue per install or the add-to-basket rate per user. And then on the right-hand side, engagement KPIs, for example, those profile follows. For example, you can follow Adidas as a brand profile and the upload of a profile picture. The index is the average, the behavior of the average paid user. And I've just indexed it to 1, and now you can see for the different user acquisition channels for Facebook, Instagram, Google, and app display, how they are different compared to this index. So probably it's not that surprising. A Facebook install, a Facebook user is more profitable to us, so he is more likely to buy a product. So the revenue per install is 12% higher compared to the average. But on the other hand, a user coming from Facebook is 31% less likely to upload a profile picture. For Instagram installs, it's exactly the other way around. So the revenue per install is not that high, but if it comes to engagement KPIs, for example, profile follow events, they are way more likely to perform those engagement events. The Google users, so the behavior of Google users is really hard to predict. So there's not really a pattern here, but I think that's just due to the fact that it combines brand traffic, search traffic, display traffic. So users inside the Google Universal App Campaign are already very, very different. App display campaigns show a rather similar behavior to Instagram installs, so the revenue per install is quite low, but the engagement KPIs are really high. What is missing here, of course, is the cost per install. So if we're talking about cost of sales or the return on ad spend, then you, of course, have to include the cost per install as well. Okay. What you see here is basically the same table, but now based on data from the first week of the install. So just analyze the behavior of the user on day 0 to 6 after the install. And what you can take away from here is it doesn't change. So, of course, there are a few changes to the absolute numbers, but in fact, the tendency from day 1 are the same in the first week of the install. So what have we learned? I already told you, Facebook installs, they show the highest revenue per install, but comparably low engagement KPIs. For Instagram and app display users, it's the other way around. We indeed saw that the user acquisition source significantly affects the user behavior in the app. And it's not always right to focus too much on the return on ad spend or revenue per install, because, for example, the Instagram users in our app, they create the content. They upload pictures of themselves, and the Facebook users are rather the users to consume this content. So in the end, the Instagram users drive the conversions of the Facebook users. So if you think about deciding on marketing budgets, you should, of course, also take into account this engagement. I think all of you know that. We need to be able to evaluate campaigns as early as possible. And what we saw for About You is that actually we're able to see a lot of those things on the first day of the install. We don't have to wait for 30 days, although this might be the ultimate KPI. But in fact, we already know on the day of the install how a user is going to behave. Any questions, maybe? Okay. So that's it from my side. Of course, feel free to reach out to me after the talk or just drop me an email. Thanks a lot.